Hello there, Internet. Thank you so much for joining me in this Sunday back workout. Starting here with my ring pull-ups. I finally got a set of 8. Was lingering around the 6s and the 7s for a while, so I finally got that 8, but then it kind of fatigued me from my other set, so they kind of sucked a little bit, but that's okay. I'll take the win with the first set. Then I moved on to my single arm superset, so my dumbbell row superset with my kneeling lat stretch row. Don't know if that's the official name, but that's how I describe it. So I did a few rounds of that, and then I did my lat pull down for a couple sets. One set of seated row cable, and finished off with some biceps. So was about an hour long and a pretty good session, though I did feel a little bit more fatigued than the workout yesterday just because I was a lot more fresh for the leg day yesterday, and then that leg day successfully taxed me out enough, so wasn't super fresh for this one, but went just fine anyway. I appreciate the fact that I was at least able to get a lot of sleep and sleep in, and that I didn't have to do this at crazy early hours of the morning, because I don't think it would have gone quite so well then. I'll just see what to do for the work week this week. Probably aiming for 2. My leg day earlier in the week, as well as another upper body workout. I am expecting to get a arch nemesis barbell, so I want to incorporate that. So I kind of want to play it by ear when I do my press day, because I like to press with that. I'm going to row with it too and see how that feels, but I really want to press with it, so I'm probably going to try to schedule that upper body workout around when that barbell will arrive. But that's certainly something to look forward to. Anyway, so I'm going to ramble about something, and the reason that I even started thinking about this is kind of a cheesy reason. So my guilty pleasure, my one guilty pleasure, is watching Grey's Anatomy, because I know it's like a soap opera, and I know a lot of it is very stupid and unrealistic, and over-the-top tragedies happen all the time. Like, I don't know how any of these people ever laugh, because everything bad happens constantly, and I think that's silly. But that's fine. It's my guilty pleasure. So I'm on season 11. And the gals were having this conversation about how they found it so hard when their significant others weren't around in the bed with them at night, because they're just so used to sleeping with them that, you know, they can't sleep without their guy in their bed, and oh my goodness. And then the one girl said, like, well, I can't sleep with somebody in my bed. Like, I wouldn't sleep at all. I would just lie there awake. And I thought, oh yeah, that's me. I relate to this chick. That's cool. I can't sleep. I can't even sleep if the person who lives above me changes their flushing schedule. Like, that's so, you couldn't even imagine if somebody was in my room. But anyway, and she said, maybe I'm too good at being alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, well, that's me. I think I'm actually too good, if such a thing exists, too good at being alone, because yes, I can't sleep if people are around. And I remember I worked with a gal whose husband would go out of town, and she would be like in absolute hell for all of the time that he was out of town. She would just be like constantly crying. I mean, she was not a very happy person anyway, but so maybe this is a bit extreme, but she couldn't sleep. She'd be crying all the time. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't sleep at all if somebody was there. I would like, and like in my head mentally, I thought, oh, I think I would love it if my husband went out of town. And it's like, I think I'd like that time. But it's obviously because I wouldn't even know what it would feel like if somebody was there or not there. And like I wouldn't really know. I can't really put myself in, I would just, in those shoes. I recognize that. But just like what I would be thinking, because I would hate it if somebody was here. And I don't. It's weird because I don't necessarily really think about that sort of thing or acknowledge it, because there's certainly times when I feel lonely and I would like to make the effort to find somebody, as I talked about in recent videos, and that is like what it feels like you're supposed to do, like you're supposed to pair up and that sort of thing. So then you try, because you want to do what you're supposed to do in life, and you worry at 50 or 60 that you'll be so painfully alone that you can't even function or whatever. And so you maybe do it for your future self, regardless of how you feel in the moment. But, all the while I have those thoughts and I make those modest efforts, I never really say, the quiet part out loud, or the part out loud is that, like, well, I would hate it if somebody was here. Like 99% of the time, there are those very, very, that 1% of sad, lonely times where I'm like, oh, I wish this or that. And it's like all the rest of the time, like, oh, I'm so glad I'm alone. Like, I'm so glad nobody's here. I never fully let myself think that or feel that, because in some strange ways, I don't know, it feels wrong. It feels like then I'll never try at all, and maybe that's a bad thing. But just thinking about how I can make all my decisions on my own. I can do whatever I want in terms of decorating my apartment. I can put up whatever shower curtain I want. I can put as much pink around the house as I want. I can have my bathroom schedule however I want. I can go to bed when I want. I can wake up when I want. I don't have to tippy-toe around. Nobody has to tippy-toe around me. We don't have to bump heads in the kitchen or argue over showers or whatever. And just the fact that what brings it all is like, I don't have to have somebody to argue over TV shows with. So probably if there was a guy around, he wouldn't want to watch Grey's Anatomy, and I certainly would never want to watch sports. I'm sorry, I hate sports. I don't like sports. And I think that's also a big thing that guys don't like, because a lot of the bios on the profiles like, oh, Oilers, and like, cool, you like hockey, I don't. I don't give a shit about it. And that's fine. You can love what you love, and I can love what I love, and I can hate what you love. It's just, but in this point, it's like, I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's like this, I don't know, I guess there's some kind of beauty and selfishness that affects no one, because I can soak up all the things that I love and I don't have to ever make accommodations. But there it is. You go through your whole life and you never really have to make accommodations for another person. And then how do you ever feel like you can when you have lived your whole life never having to make accommodations for another person? And, I guess so in some ways it's like, is it a bad thing or is it a good thing? Because when I think about the people that are like dying when their husbands are not there, or going through these hard times because they're going through a small single stretch and they don't know how to cope with it, where I've been that way my whole life, I look at that and think, well, I think I'm on the good side of it, because that person is clearly suffering from this like 2 months of being single, or like 1 year they consider to be like a crazy long amount of time being single. And it's like, bitch, hold my beer. Been single my whole life. Or they're like, their dry spell of 6 months or whatever. And once again, bitch, hold my beer. Talk to me when you're at 6 years or whatever. But it's not that hard for me. And it's really, really hard for them. And it's hard for a lot of people that are used to being with people. And when I look at that, I think, well, I'm on the good side of it then, because this is easy breezy. Like, it wouldn't even fathom, like, well, yeah, maybe another 3 years I'll be single, another 3 years of a dry spell. And it wouldn't even faze me, because that's just the norm. And so then it seems like, well, that's the easier way to be. But then you also think, but then I don't think I would ever know how to change to accommodate for somebody else, because I've never ever had to do that. And then you think, well, is that the right side then? And is that not necessarily the greatest place to be when you have no idea how to ever adjust or accommodate for another person? It's really hard to say, because I've only ever lived one side of it. I have no idea how to relate or know what the experience would be, given that I have never lived that experience. But I certainly will admit that at this point I've completely stopped trying. I know that I mentioned very, very recently that I was trying to make a very small effort with the dating app and stuff, thinking, well, shit, I got to do this for my old self. My future self is going to thank me that I tried or whatever, but only if it amounted to something. But then I tried, and it's like, nobody can make any conversation. And then you just think, oh, I'm worth more than this. Like, I put in all this effort for a conversation because I feel that that's really important. Like, thinking and trying to elaborate if they ask a question or if they make a comment, thinking of some kind of constructive thing or paragraph, at least multiple sentence thing to say back that then expands on that. Like, is this not how people converse? And then putting effort into that. And then they say 2 words back. That is not, it's really, really hard to expand on again. And then I have to think, okay, now I have to expand on this 3 words. And then trying to, expand on that and, just think of the flower blooming of their 3 little words and trying to, grow that in some way and making an effort. And then they say another 2 words back. And they don't say anything. I can't keep doing this, people. It's too hard to keep trying. They just think, this is such bullshit. Why am I even trying? This person either is completely incapable of conversation, or they're not at all interested, in which case, then why are you even saying these 3 words, and why did you match with me in the first place? And those are the times when I stop and think, I'm worth a lot more than this. My time is more valuable to me than this. So why am I even trying to do this? What is the point of this if this person can never say a full sentence back to me? And that just seems to be the norm. Like, if they say anything at all, it's just a couple words. It's like between that and ghosting. Like, those are your choices. I think, well, I don't want either of those things. I don't want to put any effort or any energy into this shit because it's so ridiculously stupid. I could be doing better things with my time. Better use of my time would just be like taking my turns on Words with Friends. Like, honestly, that is how I feel about that. It would be a much better use of my time to literally just take a decent turn, a decent score turn, I'll give it that, in Words with Friends than talking to these fucking people. So anyways, those are just some things that I was thinking about and decided to ramble about today. I don't know if I'm preaching to the choir, if a lot of y'all are paired up and don't know how hard it is at this point, but thanks for listening anyway. Bye everybody.